Why he ghosted you. The psychological reasons behind ghosting. In this video, we're going to take a look at the psychological reasons behind ghosting. Now you see him, now you don't. Just like a final vanishing act, a prestige, a magic trick of some kind. He leaves you, and he is simply not there. Being at the receiving end of this must be pretty awful, with so many questions that are lingering on your mind and the awful feeling of being rejected by someone so heavily that you seem beneath a goodbye. Ghosting is something that has grown in recent times. With most forms of communication taking place over social media, ghosting is something most people are resorting to. We'll take a look at the psychological reasons behind ghosting. But before that, we would like to let you know that we bring these videos to you for free. In order to show some support to our channel, please subscribe to us. And if you hit that notification button, we'd be even more grateful. Okay, now that we're done with that, let's move towards the psychological reasons behind ghosting. Number 1. Inability to face difficulties. When a person has problems communicating about difficult issues with others, this generally shows. Perhaps he never had a relationship where he went through patches of difficulties where he had to talk about his issues with his partner. Every relationship comes with the good and bad. There are moments of ecstasy in the same way that there are moments where you feel the lowest of the lows. As Paolo Nutini, the great Scottish singer who put in his brilliant song called Writer, the one who can make you feel like a giant in the morning and so little by noon, for sure drowning in the sunrise and you froze on the moon. But with the advent of social media, people are looking for perfect relationships without the hardships. And when hardships do come by, they simply aren't prepared for it. And then ghosting seems to be their only resort. Number 2. They just want to walk away gently. There are moments of deep realization one had in a relationship that the thing between the two of you is over. Irrespective of which party feels this way, this deep-down realization that the other was never meant for him and that the two were tricking each other all along is a feeling that cannot be cast away. And when this feeling comes, some people choose to walk away because they don't like creating scenes. The thing is that both of the people in the relationship have a realization about the mental state of the other partner. So when someone has been ghosted, they know that the other one was someone who likes going on about their business without any drama or fuzz. And this is what they were always looking for when they wanted to end the relationship. Like a Zen monk who once said, "Walking into a forest, he doesn't disturb a blade of grass. Entering into the pond, he doesn't make the waters ripple." In this very way, the one who ghosted you might have never wanted to go through the constant bickerings that often comes while ending a relationship. Number 3. Influence of social media. Ideas fly around like memes, and when an idea got a hold of you, it is pretty difficult to free yourself of it. So when people who have never ghosted anyone before might be tempted to try how it feels to end a relationship by ghosting. And with more and more people opting to ghost others and their reportage in social media, there are some who might give ghosting a shot as a way of experimentation. After all, breakups can be painful. There is a lot of recrimination, people digging up each other's past and bringing it up in instances where it is not even necessary. He might have had such troubles while breaking up in his previous relationship. So when he heard that there is a way to end a relationship without acrimony, he thought, well, let's give ghosting a try. Number 4. He was always this way. On the other hand, there might be people who have always ghosted their partners, and this is something that they are born with. It is a way of getting one up over their partners. After all, ghosting the other means that the ghoster had the last laugh, and it gives him a sense of pride. Number 5. He is too childish for a mature relationship. Think about it. Someone just disappeared from your life, like a fart in the wind. You can't reach him over social networks, nor can you ring him anymore, and neither do your messages go through or your attempt to reach him through your mutual friends. What is this way of going away from someone's life? This, in a world of adults, is not something that can be thought of as a mature man's act. So sometimes you have to look at things from the lens of maturity as well. If the person had to walk away from your life, he could have done it with much aplomb. And ghosting someone also makes both of you difficult to move on. This is because you will forever have the bitter pangs that you didn't get a chance to say proper goodbyes and that you were treated like a wretch. A realization will sooner or later hit him that it was really immature of him to walk away like that, and then he will regret his actions. But he doesn't have this realization now, which means he is too immature to handle a mature relationship anyway. Number 6. He was deeply hurt in the past. Sometimes we never really recover from the wounds of our previous relationships. You might have heard of plenty of instances when a girl was too close with someone who opened up with all her being with her partner, and he in turn emptied her. Perhaps this is one of the emotions that Miley Cyrus in her ballad Wrecking Ball talks about. All I wanted was to break your walls. All you ever did was wreck me. And when someone is wrecked in a relationship, they are barely able to open themselves up to others, even when their partners are really good. So you see people turning into spinsters, as it is well nigh impossible to love someone who is virtually closed off in their shells. In the same way, he might have been deeply hurt in the past and doesn't want to talk about those wounds with you. And when some fixable cracks appear in your relationship, he is reminded of his past relationship, and you seem like a mirror of his ex. Instead of talking to you about it or letting the hurt go, choosing to ghost you is his way of being attached to the past, a way of not releasing emotions in a healthy way. Number 7. They have given you too many chances. There are certain personality types such as the INFJ who can sometimes be warped around the mind games played by their partner. Even when the other person is manipulating them, they might still proceed in the relationship, hoping that the better side of the other will turn up. But when the INFJ feels that they have given the other person way too many chances and that the other person is not making a pepper effort to change or improve their behaviors, they feel that ghosting you is the best option. People sometimes refer to that as an INFJ door slam. Number 8. He doesn't have a healthy way to channel his anger. Although putting people up into two brackets according to their personalities may not be healthy, there are two very rough classifications of how people choose to express their anger. One type might be very impulsive and show their anger right away in a sudden burst. The other ones are the ones who can't be impulsive and store some anger inside and appear calm on the outside. And when these small bursts of anger which they fail to express adds up over time, it suddenly comes out like an explosion. And he ghosting you might be that he fell in the latter type. Someone who stored all the unpleasantness while being with you without talking to you about it. And when these added up over time, he chose to express this in the most unimaginable of ways. He ghosted you. Although we might feel that the blame lies on the other side, it is worth noting our own behaviors and relationships. Are we struggling with our pasts? Are we still unable to express our deepest emotions to our partners? When this happens, you run into a vicious cycle of mutual distrust and lack of communication. And the worst way that this expresses itself is when your partner ghosts you. What are some other reasons that people chose to ghost their partners? Please let us know in the comments down below. And also, don't forget to give us a thumbs up in case you like this video. We'll see you with a new video soon, but in the meanwhile, you can watch the video on the screen.